Warning, the outbursts are to end.
No more kids dying. No more mothers dying.
This is your second warning. The outbursts are to end now.
It's dying. No more mothers dying.
This is the third outburst. Council, we're going to vote to reconvene and allow the sheriff to do what they feel is appropriate.
Council
Can I have
President?
we have a motion by Sweeney. Is there a second? Properly moved and seconded. All in favor of reconvene? Aye. All right. At this time, we will turn into the hands of the sheriff.
No more kids dying. No more mothers dying. We shall live in peace. No more kids dying. No more mothers dying. We shall live in peace. No more racism. No more white supremacy. No more government. We shall live in peace. No more money for bombs. No more killing children. We shall live in peace. No more kids dying. No more mothers dying. We shall live in peace. We shall live.
At this time, Madam Clerk, we will have the roll call.
Council President,
Here.
if you could just state that recess has ended and the meeting will resume.
Yes, the recess has ended, and the meeting, we are now back on the record, and the meeting shall resume.
Good evening, everyone. It is now 5:09 p.m. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Stevens. Ms. Stevens is absent at the moment. Ms. Simon is absent. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Present.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Mr. Byrne.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Schron is absent. Ms. Conwell.
Present.
Ms. Turner.
Present.
Council President Jones.
Here.
You have a quorum.
All right. At this time, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, before we begin our meeting, I'd like to remind everyone that we welcome your input and respect your right to voice your opinion. However, this council has a right and a responsibility to maintain and enforce content-neutral rules of decorum. We expect speakers and members of the audience to abide by these rules. The display of signs or placards, as well as heckling or outbursts from the audience, will not be tolerated. Individuals who violate these rules will be subject to removal by sheriff's deputies. If we have repeated or continuous disruptions, we may need to recess again and clear the council chambers, at which point all members of the public may be required to leave the building and may access the meeting via live stream. Tonight, we will hear from 30 speakers who have signed up, who will be selected at random. Again, we will be strictly adhering to the 2-minute time limit. When you hear the bell, please conclude your comments. Parking vouchers are being provided for attendees who park in the attached garage. But please note that these parking vouchers are only valid for those with a valid parking ticket. If you fail to present a parking ticket upon exiting the garage, your voucher will not work, and you will be required to pay the $50 lost ticket fee. Finally, at the request of the Sheriff's Department, we ask that attendees please take a seat during the meeting and not loiter in the aisles or at the back of the chamber. If all seats are occupied, overflow attendees can watch the meeting via the monitors directly outside of the chambers. At this time, Madam Clerk, we will begin our public comment time.
Tyler Turan.
Hello, my name is Tyler Tehran, and I'm with DSA, and I'm here to express my disappointment with this Puppet County Council because you refused to divest your $16 million bond from the apartheid state of Israel. It baffles me that this council is still subsidizing genocide. Israel blocks aid to the open-air prison of Gaza, which has led to dozens of children dying of starvation, and there's an emergence of polio. Are you seriously okay with that? Oh wait, I don't have to ask because I already know the answer. It's not just me saying this. ProPublica journalist Brett Murphy reported on September 24th of this year, quote, "The U.S. Agency for International Development delivered its assessment to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and the State Department's Refugees Bureau made its stance known to top diplomats in late April. Their conclusion was explosive because U.S. law requires the government to cut off weapon shipments to countries that prevent the delivery of U.S.-backed humanitarian aid. Israel has been largely dependent on American bombs and other weapons in Gaza since Hamas' October 7th attacks. But Blinken and the administration of President Joe Biden did not accept either finding. Days later, on May 10th, Blinken delivered a carefully worded statement to Congress that said, "We do not currently assess that the Israeli government is prohibiting or otherwise restricting the transport or delivery of U.S. humanitarian assistance." Prior to his report, U.S. aid had sent Blinken a detailed 17-page memo on Israel's conduct. The memo described instances of Israeli interference with aid efforts, including killing aid workers, razing agricultural structures, bombing ambulances and hospitals, sitting on supply debts, and routinely turning away trucks full of food and medicine, end quote. The non-acceptance of this administration is eerily similar to what is going on here in this council. I don't know what your guys' deal is, but you need to take action and divest from Israel right now. No more of this childish filibustering. Free Palestine.
Ann Gazy. Ann Gazy.
My name is Ann Ghazi, and I'm here to thank all of you for your $16 million investment in the Zionist Israeli state. I want to express my heartfelt thanks to Israel, the Zionist president, and all support them. You've given Arabs, Muslims, and fair-minded people worldwide a gift we never expected: unity. While not everyone, especially those profiting from oppression, may share the sentiment, many of us are truly grateful. For the Middle East, I often wondered why people who live in close proximity, speak the same language, and share the same culture couldn't unite as one. This has long baffled me, but after a year of shared pain and a genocide, Pan-Arabism has found new life, and Muslim unity across the globe, Sunni and Shia, has strengthened after centuries of division. This solidarity is both profound and so heartwarming. So thank you again. We sleep peacefully at night, but I imagine it's not as easy for you. We're deeply grateful that we're not the oppressors. It is far better to endure oppression than to become its agent. We are thankful not to be the facilitators of apartheid, for it's better to suffer under it than to enable it. And we're grateful not to be responsible for ethnic cleansing or for sustaining a military occupation that denies basic human rights. And we take solace in not being the ones pushing forward policies of colonial expansion at the expense of another people's land. I'm proud to be a part of this group. We stand as one family, and today we're filled with hope. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. After 75 years, the arc is bending towards us. We see its light, and we know that victory is closer than we
Thank you,
ever
Ms. Ann.
imagined.
Thank you, Ms. Ann.
Noel Nasser.
My name is Noel Nasser, and I'm going to be reading only a slight fraction of the children who have been murdered at the hands of Israel. Tala Ashraf Saeed Abu Hani, 12 years old. Tala Ibrahim Farid Qadora, 12 years old. Tala Mustafa Muhammad Al-Hadfni, 12 years old. Tala Osama Salama Hussein Ali, 12 years old. Tala Munir Muhammad Sayam, 12 years old. Taqqa Muhammad Imad Shalak, 12 years old. Tasneen Salim Muhammad Gouda, 12 years old. Tasneem Samih Jamal Masood, 12 years old. Dikra Hamouda Mahrez Al-Nim, 12 years old. Tulin Hani Salah Al-Thawba, 12 years old. Waeed Muhammad Hussein Al-Najjar, 12 years old. Wasim Wissam Fadi Aqal, 12 years old. Yahya Dafar Mazin Al-Shawwa, 12 years old. Yahya Muhannad Sami Aslam, 12 years old. Yahya Tahsin Asad Mughawwal, 12 years old. Yamin Ayman Samir Abu Shamla, 12 years old. Yamin Hamdi Hikmat Gaban, 12 years old. Yamin Hussein Muhammad Al-Akhras, 12 years old. Yamin Muhammad Mustafa Al-Lili, 12 years old. Yamin Saeed Nihad Al-Shua, 12 years old.
Dale Snyder. Dale Snyder.
Dale Snyder. Hello, everyone. Again, thank you, Council, for allowing me to come again.
Mr. Snyder, if you could put the microphone closer to you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, Dale Snyder. Again, thank you, Council, for allowing me to speak. I spoke last week, and I spoke on the point of recidivism. It is something that I am passionate about. I'm back again. I believe that instead of addressing the problem, you have to focus on the solution. The problem is always speaking for itself. The statistics are out there. It's ugly. Just to share a few statistics, 62% of people that offend within 3 years offend again. Within 10 years, that number goes from 62 to 84. These numbers are horrific. But I don't want to focus on those numbers. I have a plan. I have a solution that will fight. I know it's a plan that will work because it's worked with me. I've been home for 14 years now. Again, I shared a little bit. Since then, I've been in school. Since I've been home, started a business, raised a family, and so forth. I know this plan will work because I believe that some of the fight within the communities that I come from is not just a fight to stay out, it's a fight to survive. You provide economic advancement opportunity to some of these people. You will not only not fight against recidivism, you will have an effective, passionate community leader. Again, I have my plan right here. The name of it is ROADS, and that's just an acronym. And I would like to share my plan with you guys. I do have a copy. I don't know if I'm allowed to give you a copy. I would like to copy back. This is something that I'm passionate about, and I don't want it to be launched without me because my heart is in the right place, and I believe when your heart is in the right place, things will come to fruition.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder.
Thank you.
You can share with us. If you reach the clerk, we will receive what you want to give with us, and we'll give you the guidance we can to help you to continue to grow in what you're in your enterprise.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Rochelle Roth.
My name is Rochelle Roth. I'm a resident of Cuyahoga County. Primarily, I wanted to thank you for not passing any divestment resolutions. And just like the young woman that talked of the tragic deaths of people, I would like to remind everyone that there are still 100 hostages in Gaza that should be released. And so far, they have not after a full year. I will name some of them. Agam Berger, Sasha Truanov, Alon Ohef, Arbel Yehud, Ariel Bibas, who's only 5 years old, Ariel Conio, Avraham Makshitu, Avinathan Or, Bancha Duriachwach, sorry, Bipin Joshi, Daniela Gilbo, David Conio, Doron Steinbrecher, Eden Alexander, Eitan Moore. And you understand, I'll give you back the podium, but we all want to see these hostages released. Thank you for your consideration.
Ori Balkin.
Hello, my name is Ori Balkin. Good evening, members of the council and fellow community members. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. I stand before you to express my strong support for Israel, to advocate against the calls for divestment, and to stand against anti-Semitism the only way I know how. A year ago, we all witnessed the most horrific attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. I know that's something you've all heard over and over again, but let that actually sink in. 1,200 innocent people, mothers, fathers, children, innocent people, elderly, Holocaust survivors, 100 of them still in cages. These are people who had nothing to do with borders, and they had nothing to do with the conflict. They're people like you and me and everyone else in this room. A year ago, every Israeli's life was changed. The Hamas terrorists have accomplished one task. My country is terrified. This is not a one-sided conflict, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is that these calls for divestment are fueled by a one-sided, hateful view of a very complex subject. Israel is not just a political entity, and it's not a genocidal ethno-state like TikTok fed these people behind me. It's a vibrant, messy, thoughtful democracy. It's inclusive and it embodies the values of freedom, innovation, and resilience. It's a place a lot like America, where Muslims, Jews, Christian, Druze all live together freely. These people would not know if they would not know that. Divesting from Israel is taking the values written in the Constitution and throwing it in the trash. Unfortunately, there's a rise in anti-Semitism disguised as anti-Israel rhetoric. I want everyone to hear this. There's a difference between legitimate criticism of policies and the delegitimization of a nation's right to exist, of my right to exist, and I won't stand for it. Being a Zionist does not mean condoning every action taken, no. It means acknowledging the context and recognizing that Israel has the right to defend itself. It means recognizing that if any other country was attacked like Israel was a year ago, they would respond even worse. Israel's combatant-to-civilian ratio is unprecedentedly low compared to other wars. Look, like any nation, Israel is not perfect. There are too many Palestinians dying.
Thank you.
And this war must end. Thank you.
Enos Fukwaha. Enos Fukwaha.
Hello, my name is Inas Fukaha, and I'm gonna read a list of some of the children that have been killed. بتول عبد الفتاح خالد الزهيري، بتول إسماعيل إبراهيم أبو زهير، بيسان نعمان سليمان هبوش، إلاف حسين أحمد الأسطل، إلين محمد فايز أبو عودة، فريال محمد أحمد موسى، فاطمة نعمان سليمان هبوش، حبيبة سليمان سامي أبو نجا، هالة عبد الرحمن محمد الخليدي، هاني أحمد ربحي نتيل، هاتم أحمد هاتم الحاسي، هشام عبدو فايز البنا، هدى أحمد جمال جراد، عماد الدين حازم محمد البداوي، إيمان محمد فريد قنديل، إسلام حازم خليل زكوت، إياد محمد شعبان أبو شريفة، جبر عبد الجابر نمر أبو خوصة، جاد يوسف عواد شعبان، جهاد خالد جهاد أبو عامر، جنان إبراهيم كمال رشوان. All these have been 2 years old, by the way. Julia Abdelrahim Saidi Mansour, 2 years old. Julia Muhammad Mahmoud Abu Asi, 2 years old. Juri Muhammad Arif Shalayel, 2 years old. Karam Hussam Musa Abu Ishaq, 2 years old. Karam Muhammad Abdelrahim Al Madhoun, 2 years old. Karam Mustafa Jamil Eid, 2 years old. Kareem Mahmoud Jamil Al Dahdouh, 2 years old. Kareem Mahmoud Majid
Josiah Quarles.
Thank you, Council. My name is Josiah Quarles. Today's a hard day. Firstly, I'd like to express my disappointment initially in the fact that you took millions of dollars that were provided through ARPA to provide relief from COVID and applied them to building a new jail when that was supposed to be the decision of the new administration. And then secondly, proposing to extend a sales tax for 40 years, the rest of my lifetime, to pay for it without asking the people properly. All of those decisions are supposed to be taken to the people for their approval. For 40 years of a sales tax that we know impacts the poor far more than anyone else. And they are the ones who are abundantly and consistently over-policed, overcharged, and over-incarcerated within our county. It is these same sorts of investments that lead us to stand against what is obviously the moral decision to divest from Israel. In my compiling of a list of names today, there were over 303 children less than 1 year old. They cannot walk. They cannot speak. They know nothing of this world and were obliterated and wiped off the planet. And we sit here and we twiddle our thumbs halfway across the world as our money murders children daily.
Abra Gazahi. Abra Gahazi. Abra Gahazi.
Hello, my name's Abrar Ghazi.
I'm a graphic designer, actor, model, athlete, and a proud Muslim. I'm half white and half Egyptian, and I've lived most of my life in Egypt and Saudi. One of my closest friends, whom I consider a sister, is Palestinian and currently lives in Jordan, and some of her family also lives in Palestine as we speak. And by extension, they are also my family. Knowing that my taxes are fueling bonds that may harm them is not unsettling, it's unbearable. I refuse to stand by as my money funds their suffering. Growing up in the Middle East, the United States was always seen as the land of freedom and opportunity. But when I came here, I found that freedom came with conditions. I've been discriminated during my sport competitions and been asked to remove my headscarf for acting gigs, as though my identity is a costume that can be shed for convenience. Where is freedom in that? We speak about liberty and justice for all, but our actions say otherwise. While we invest in conflicts overseas and we are neglecting the needs of our people right here. It's time we stop funding wars and start focusing on healing our own communities. I urge you to divest from Israel bonds and reinvest in people who stand before you. Thank you.
Sean Abbott Clafter.
Hello, my name is Sean Abbott Clafter. Thank you for allowing me the chance to speak tonight. I want to say something very simple, which is that the gentleman who came last week and then came again today to talk about his plan around recidivism, I want to thank him and remind the council that that should be why we're all here. We live in this county and we want to uplift this county. We want to respect the lives of everybody who lives in this county and improve the lives of those who live in this county. And we have a very simple way that we can do that. We have hundreds of millions of dollars in investments in our county's investment portfolio. We can allocate that money to municipal bonds, whether they're Cuyahoga County bonds, whether they're Cuyahoga County Library bonds, bonds for the sewer system, what have you. We have the power to do that easily. When we send our money overseas, even if it wasn't to support a genocide, which it is, even if we were not supporting a genocide, we would be robbing our county of those funds and the economic benefit that we can derive from them. And so what we are doing is this. Instead of building schools, we are blowing up schools. Instead of building a better and improving the improvements to our sewer system, continuing those, there is raw sewage on the streets of Gaza right now. Instead of creating jobs, people are living in absolute destitution, don't have work or a stable place to live at all. This is what we are choosing to do when we could be uplifting our county. Thank you.
Kathar Amir. Kathar Amin.
Daughter?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Aya Abu Hashim. I'm 8 years old and I am here after school to tell you that what you are doing is wrong. Please stop sending our money to kill kids like me. Everyone deserves a happy life. Please keep children like me safe and invest in our future. Thank you.
My name is Kauthar Amin. Ladies and gentlemen of Cuyahoga County, I really wish I didn't have to be here again to remind you of something so painfully obvious. Genocide, bad, Investing in genocide, worse. Yet somehow, here we are. The fact that Cuyahoga County continues to invest in a state that was built on the blood of Palestinians whose homes, lives, and histories have been systematically erased is nauseating, to say the least. But no, it's fine because it all started October 7th, right? Please. Israel's occupation and oppression have been a reality for decades. Palestinians didn't wake up one day and decide to resist. They've been under siege, dispossessed, and slaughtered long before that date. The audacity of those who stand here and deny fact after fact, facts that have been at your disposal through a tap on your screen for years, but especially this past year. The truth, the real human shield, is Israel's well-funded military hiding behind the narrative of self-defense while it erases entire neighborhoods, hospitals, and schools, splatters children's bodies onto the walls of buildings, ejects fetuses out of pregnant mothers' wombs through a single blast with U.S.-supplied weapons. Our money pays for that. We could not make this any clearer. By investing in Israel bonds, you're investing in hate, you're investing in crimes against humanity, you're investing in the pain and the anguish of mothers, fathers, and sons. You all have children, mothers, fathers, and families you care about. None of you would be okay with a single penny going towards anything that would harm a hair on their heads. Have you really lost so much of your humanity that you justify it all because those being slaughtered are humans on the other side of the planet? What's the difference between you and them? Don't we all bleed the same? Don't we all love our children the same? Wake up. Thank you.
Mark Sack. Mark Sack.
Good evening. My name is Mark Sack, and I'm a resident of Lyndhurst. This is my 36th year as an educator and teacher at Cleveland Heights High School. Again, I remind everyone in this room that history did not begin in 1948. Israel has been the ancestral homeland for the Jewish people for 4,000 years. Later tonight, Councilmember Turner will introduce Resolution 0357, which requests from the Council to award a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Positive Plus program. And she additionally requests that this resolution become effective immediately. I enthusiastically urge Council to pass this resolution with a unanimous vote, as these funds will help many families in our area positively reconstruct their lives after having them tragically disrupted by violence in our community. Since 1985, the Positive Plus program has helped provide hundreds of families with inspiration and motivation to assist them in rebuilding their lives. Thank you, Council, in advance for passing this resolution with a unanimous vote. I am again asking from this Council to pass a resolution demanding that Hamas terrorists in Gaza immediately release the remaining 101 Israeli hostages, young children and sick elderly adults, and even some American citizens, many of whom are sadly no longer alive. Due to recent news out of Gaza, I am respectfully requesting that the Council use the following wording in this resolution. We, the Executive Council of Cuyahoga County, with the goal of helping to move the Middle East toward a ceasefire, demand that Hamas terrorists in Gaza immediately release not only the 101 Israeli hostages being held for over a year in Gaza, but also immediately release all of the Yazidi and women of other nationalities who have been forcibly trafficked as sex slaves from different parts of the world to Gaza over the years, where they are currently being held captive by men of pure evil. Dear Council, please know that according to many credible news outlets, last week, through the efforts of the United States, its ally Israel, and several other countries, Ms. Fawzia Amin Sido, a Yazidi woman originally from Iraq.
Thank you.
Jenna Muhyiddin. Jenna Muhyiddin.
My name is Jenna Muhyiddin. Just like the brother gave you guys some papers, before I get out of here, I want to give you a list of 3,000 out of 10,000 children that have been murdered. I want to give each of you a few of these so you can remember their names. We're mourning the victims of October 7th and October 8th and 9th and 10th and 6th and 5th and 4th, all the way back to 48. So please remember this. These kids haven't started dying on October 7th. They've been dying. The United Nations has called Gaza a graveyard for thousands of children. A graveyard for thousands of children. One child is killed every 5 minutes in the Gaza Strip. And this doesn't include the tens and thousands missing and injured. So I will continue to recite these names, and you will remember them. Amir Al-Tahir, 3 years old. Amina Al-Nabih, 3 years old. Hamir Dahdir, 3 years old. Hamir Safra, 3 years old. Hamira Al-Sawarka, 3 years old. Ayman Al-Jahya, 3 years old. Hasil Shahdan, 3 years old. Anas Aslam, 3 years old. Anas Al-Najjar, 3 years old. Amjad Khalid Kamal Rashwan, 3 years old. Rahaf Muhammad Dabour, 7 years old. Reem Qanaan, 7 years old. Ra'a Shaheen, 7 years old. Sama Ramiz, 7 years old. Ahmed Masood, 9 years old. Tala Kaurwani, 9 years old. Mustafa Haddad, 11 years old. Salim Ibrahim, 10 years old. Muhammad Al-Salak, 5 years old. Abdul Shat, 3 years old. Zaid Al-Amrain, 2 years old. Yara Latif, 2 years old. Yahya Al-Balawi, 2 years old. Wateen Allah Saqallah, 2 years old. Wasim Eid, 2 years old. Ward Al-Satri, 2 years old. Long live the resistance, as long as there's something to resist.
Thank you, Mr. Don. And Mr. Don, you can leave your list with our clerk, and we'll all get it.
Louise Gardner.
With the clerk.
Louise Gardner.
Louise Gardner.
Deaf, have hearing aids. Thank you very much for repeating it. My name is Louise Gardner. I live in Shaker Heights. I offered comments here in June in favor of a resolution that the council was considering to block investment in Israel bonds, block further investment in Israel bonds. I spoke as a community member unaffiliated with any group. In the 4 months since, not only has the killing of innocent civilians in Gaza continued, and has humanitarian aid been repeatedly blocked by Israeli forces, but now Israel has expanded the violence into Lebanon with indiscriminate bombing of residential buildings and premeditated harm from pagers implanted with explosives by Israeli intelligence. Meanwhile, the original proposal that the county withhold further investment in Israeli bonds was definitively tabled by the council, despite Israel's horrifyingly ironic ethnic cleansing campaign in Palestine. A people who suffered at the hands of Nazis are now turning the tables with settler violence, which has been ongoing since 1948. Some insist that this is merely a financial decision, but even if it were possible to separate it from its ideological framework, the fact is that Israeli bonds are no longer a good investment. As the investment value declines, the council's refusal to change course reveals the embedded corruption that was behind the purchase of these bonds to begin with. In the 4 months since I last offered comments here, the indifference of this council has transformed me from a merely genuinely concerned Cuyahoga County taxpayer to an activist. Your intransigence has opened the eyes of an ordinary senior citizen and community member, and I am now part of a growing movement.
Estelle Raskin. Estelle Raskin.
My name is Estelle Raskin. If I were to write a story reflecting over the past year from my perspective as a Jewish person who's dared to stand publicly for Palestinian rights, I would title it A Gut-Wrenching Year of Denial and Obfuscation. Holocaust denial is considered hate speech in the United States and is a criminal offense in Germany and France, yet even mentioning the expulsion of almost 1 million Palestinians from their land during the Nakba is considered inflammatory. My refusal to deny the impact the inception of the State of Israel and its ongoing policies have on Palestinians has had an outsized response, which I don't have time to describe in 2 minutes. Yesterday, the Jewish Federation hosted an October 7th commemoration event, which featured speeches by both our mayor and county executive Chris Ronayne. Meanwhile, both the mayor and Ronayne have repeatedly ignored the Palestinian community's requests for meetings, all while they continue to attend Jewish Federation events and meet with Federation executives and members, including but not limited to trips to Israel and conferences about anti-Semitism. Has anyone on this council in the past year attended a training about anti-Palestinian hate or Islamophobia? The conversations around Israel bonds here in Cuyahoga County continue to leave out Palestinian voices, perpetuating a fundamental erasure of their history. There are many ways to tell a story, and this county's investment in Israel bonds is a direct outcome of a redacted version of the story of Israel, which deliberately erases Palestinian existence and experience. Palestinians and those who value their humanity have been trying to inscribe that history back into the story to incorporate the everyday reality of what it is like to be a Palestinian living under occupation in their own homes. I urge you to educate yourselves, to meet with your Palestinian and Arab constituents, and to listen to their stories. It's the least you can do.
Samantha Baxter. Samantha Baxter.
Good evening. My name is Samantha, and I am a resident of Cuyahoga County. And I would like to speak on the state of civil services within the county. In multiple cities across Cuyahoga County, the police are understaffed. Just recently, you had a concerned mother come in and report an incident where her son was involved in a hit and run. The police were called, and the police didn't show up. Unfortunately, this is not an isolated incident. Very near to where we are today in East Cleveland, not only is the police force understaffed, they don't have a fully functioning fire truck. Their firefighters have reported they are answering distress calls in the ambulance. If they need a ladder or equipment from the fire truck, it will not be available, and this poses a significant risk to the lives of all East Cleveland residents. As civil servants of Cuyahoga County, the entire council should be outraged and actively working to fix these issues. It's essential to remember that we are all part of Cuyahoga County. City lines are merely lines on a map, and dysfunction in one area is bound to cross over into another. Instead of investing in the people of Cuyahoga County and using taxpayer money to improve the lives of its residents, the county council has chosen to loan $16 million to Israel in the form of Israel bonds. This decision raises some serious questions about our priorities. In July, Cuyahoga County reported this year will have a predicted deficit of around $16 million. It may be time for us to reconsider our financial strategies and reallocate those funds. Our tax dollars should be invested in our county and its residents, not loaned to foreign countries. If we invest in East Cleveland and other areas experiencing population decline, we could turn these communities into valuable assets, generating revenue and improving the quality of life of all residents. I urge the County Council to focus on enhancing civil services, investing in our community, and prioritizing the well-being of Cuyahoga County residents. Thank you for your time.
Don Bryant. Don Bryant.
Good evening. Thank you. I'm Don Bryant, and I am going to play the voice of Taqwa, the sole survivor in the Gaza massacre.
She tells me faintly over the phone from Gaza City that she woke up in a hospital after the attack asking to see her oldest child, Sumaya, who was 12. And her last memory was sitting in her parents' living room under the window with her 4-month-old son, Ibrahim, on her lap. For weeks, she went in and out of consciousness at that hospital calling out for her kids. She'd ask if her baby Ibrahim had any milk. And a month after the airstrike, relatives would tell her the truth, that all 6 of her kids were killed in that airstrike, that she alone survived. I read the names and ages of her kids back to her. Sumaya 12, Suhaib 11, Jinan 8, Muhammad 5, Riman 3, Ibrahim 4 شهور. Nari Takwa has almost no photos or videos of her kids either because her phone was destroyed in the attack. But she clings to these few seconds of her kids on a raft in a pool in a video.
And so today, what does she tell you about how she gets through life in Gaza without her children, without her family?
It's really not much of a life at all. I mean, this is a woman who lost everything in a flash. When I was talking to her, the call to prayer in Gaza City rang out, and I asked her what she prays for in these moments. She said she prays to be reunited with her kids, and she prays for death, what people in Gaza call martyrdom. And she told me no ceasefire will ever bring back her children. The striking thing, Ari, is that her story, this family's pain, it's still being inflicted on more families in Gaza every day as airstrikes keep pounding the territory. And so with so many orphans and grieving parents in Gaza.
Yasser Shahi.
Good evening. My name is Yasin Sheikh. I'm here to read the names of the martyrs of Palestine in Gaza. Martyrs that have been killed due to your funding, due to our funding, that we did not give you the right to spend that money. Umar Bilal Muhammad al-Banna, 4 years old. Umar Muhammad Abd al-Karim al-Nakla, 4 years old. Umar Muhammad Sha'ban, 4 years old. Osama Faik Muhammad Mahmoud, 4 years old. Osama Fuad Osama Eid, 4 years old. Qamar Yahya Jihad Ahmed, 4 years old. Salah Tahir Al-Aqad, 4 years old. Rabab Mahmoud Nafiz Al-Aidi, 4 years old. Rakan Ahmed Hisham Abu Dalal, 4 years old. Rakan Muhammad Aouni Ad-Dus, 4 years old. Rana Tamir Mahmoud Saidam, 4 years old. Randa Ibrahim Basim Sha'ban, 4 years old. Rania Muhammad Abdul Qadir Al-Atar, 4 years old. Rani Zaid Fathi Al-Majdouli, 4 years old. Rayan Ayham Nihad Al-Shawa, 4 years old. Razan Adham Bashir Thabit, 4 years old. Razan Muhammad Abdul Bolan, Ahmed Bolan, 4 years old. Razan Muhammad Fathi Abu Ajwa, 4 years old. Reem Muhammad Ouda Sunayna, 4 years old. Riman Al-Mu'tasim Walid Al-Fuqa, 4 years old. Rima Adnan Sa'id Al-Haddad, 4 years old. Riyam Marwan Muhammad Al-Hawajri, 4 years old. Rizq Salah Fawaz Abu Rizq, 4 years old. Ruqayya Muhammad Munir Al-Tala, 4 years old. Sabah Abdul Rahman Muhammad Salha, 4 years old. Sabri Muhammad Sabri Al-Buraim, 4 years old. Sadan Abdul Hadi Riyad Matar, 4 years old. Thank you.
Alex Zaruga.
Hello, my name is Alex Zaruga, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you about my concerns. I'm a resident of Cleveland, and I reside in District 7. I'd like to begin by thanking you for not passing the anti-Israel resolution, and I encourage you to not consider any similar resolutions in the future. I'd also like to talk to you about the meaning of words, and one of which is anti-Semitism. So in past sessions, I've heard folks attempt to distort what is or what is not anti-Semitic. And if you need help understanding what anti-Semitism is or making determinations about whether a statement or an action is anti-Semitic, I ask that you seek out Jewish leaders in our community to assist you, whether that be somebody at the Jewish Federation of Cleveland, whether that be at a synagogue in your localities. I believe that it's important to listen to the experiences of people of an impacted minority group when we try to grapple with discrimination and hate. When I want to understand whether something is racist, I seek out folks in the impacted minority group. When I want to understand if something is sexist or misogynistic, I seek counsel from women in my life. And yet, I feel that Jewish people have often been ignored, or worse, have been accused of weaponizing anti-Semitism when society grapples about whether something is or is not anti-Semitic. When Jewish people tell you that something is anti-Semitic, please believe us. If you're unsure about something, you have a question, please ask us. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak with you.
Steve Norris.
Maintain order. Maintain order. Allow the public commenter to speak.
My name is Steve Norris, and I'm asking once again to divest from Israeli bonds so that we don't have to keep adding to these lists. Hoda Hani Samir Elhams, age 11. Haifa Mohammed Ahmed Abdul Ghafour, age 11. Ilham Khalil Abdul Hafez al-Baghdadi, age 11. Ismail Noman Suleiman Habush, age 11. Issa Musa Issa Samur, age 11. Jafar Ahmed Kamal Jendaya, age 11. Jana Hamza Badr al-Batini, age 11. Jana Hassan Fauzi al-Bawab, age 11. Jana Ismail Muhammad Farina, age 11. Jana Ramez Mohammed Kashta, age 11. Jana Salam Taisir Al-Bayad, age 11. Jana Shadi Fayez El-Dakwa, age 11. Jana Zuhair Atta Mahdi, age 11. Jihad Khalil Abdel Hai Abu Salama, age 11. Kamal Musab Kamal Abu Naim, age 11. Karam Sadala Baha Al-Din Sukayak, age 11. Kareem Mohammed Saleh Al-Sawalha, age 11. Kareem Ramzi Abdel Kareem Astel Al-Asel, age 11. Kareem Sadala Baha Al-Din Sakik, age 11. Khaled Hani Khaled Abu Al-Naga, age 11. Khaled Ramzi Sami Abu Naja, age 11. Lama Bakr Yusuf Abu Muhalik, age 11. Lamar Sabir Ali Kidi, age 11. Lana Hussein Mohammed Hamd, age 11. Lana Ilyad Ismail Abu Sakfa, age 11.
Mara Lynn Skosh.
Hello, my name is Mara Lane Schock. I'm a Jew in the community from Cleveland Heights, and I'm here to tell you what anti-Semitism is. Anti-Semitism is the hatred of Jewish people. Anti-Semitism is not anti-Zionism. How do I know that? Because I am part of a long line of anti-Zionist Jews. My family has been here for over 100 years, existing Jewishly, and I am a current leader in my Jewish community. Today, we are in the midst of what is called the Days of Awe. A core tenet of the Days of Awe is teshuvah, which means to return. It means a return to our values, a return to what makes us human. And I want to ask you, why did you become a public servant? I know why I did, but why did you? Because you have to return to it. It can't be about money, it can't be about the salary, and it can't be about the fame, because we all know it doesn't work like that. I am not part of a fringe group. I am a Jewish person living in reality alongside my Palestinian brothers and sisters. And I am begging you to stop prioritizing my white life over theirs. I am begging you to please stop prioritizing my indigeneity to a land that I don't give a shit about. Teshuvah means return. Return the money from the people to the people. We need it in our services. We don't need it in Israel. Thank you.
Susan Ephraimson. Susan Ephraimson.
Hi, I'm Susan Ephraimson, and I want to thank you for not giving in to the hate and the propaganda that we've heard, and for not passing the BDS legislation. I know that we've spoken. I know that we've.
Please direct your comments and continue.
I know that we've spoken about how all Israel wants to do is to be left alone, and were it not for the hate and the wars and the terror, there would be no need for an IDF or an IDF response. How sad all these deaths. They are clearly on the heads of Hamas, who attacked Israel on October 7th. The last time I addressed, we were talking about.
Maintain order. Allow the public commenter to speak. Please continue. Please continue.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I apologize. The last time I addressed this August body, I was talking about how sad the need for security and checkpoints. I didn't get a chance to say that we should thank our TSA agents for being there, but if it were not for the attacks of ISIS on America and Hamas and Hezbollah on Israel, there wouldn't be need for those checkpoints. And I was called disgusting. So I'd like to share with you something that I found disgusting. The boy next to me, two times ago, was laughing at the description of the brutalization of women on October 7th. Yes, that is terror. And I whispered to him, "You find that funny?" And he said, yeah, I do. I hope that speaks for itself. We also heard from a woman last week who, and some here today, that they want Israel to be Judenrein. Jews don't belong there at all, and it's because of their holy sites. So they built their mosque on our holiest site, and can I have...
Finish your thought.
Thank you.
Finish your thought.
I appreciate that, thank you. They build their mosque on our holiest site, and then they say, you have to get out. And there have been Hasidic, Jerusalemite, and Sephardic communities that predate even the Zionist movement.
And that's
all
enough time.
Jews. The Jewish tie to
time.
Israel is one of love, and it's been there eternally. Thank
That is
you.
sufficient time. Thank you.
Nima Homani.
And again, we will maintain order. Everyone has their 2 minutes. Do not take their time from them.
Really consistent with your standards here. My name is Nima. I'm a resident of Strongsville. It's been 1 year since the beginning of Israel's genocidal bombing in Gaza. And I want to read some of the names of the teenagers who have been martyred. I'm sure many of you have teenagers. I want you to imagine their name was on this list. Abdul Rahim Mahmoud Hatem, 14 years old. Abdul Aziz Ayman Mohammed, 14 years old. Abdul Rahman Kamal Awad, 14 years old. Abdul Rahman Sami Ahmed, 14 years old. Abdullah Ayad Abd Muhaysin, 14 years old. Abdullah Ayad Fuad Hana, 14 years old. Abdullah Mustafa Hussein, 14 years old. Abdullah Rahman Manhal, 14 years old. Abir Saeed Nofal, 14 years old. Abrar Saleh Yusuf, 14 years old. Adam Hassan Abdul Wahab, 14 years old. Afnan Aladin Ahmed Abu Yunus, 14 years old. Ahmed Hatim Ahmed Kashku, 14 years old. Ahmed Jabbar Omar Kahel, 14 years old. Ahmed Mansour Abdel Sob, 14 years old. Ahmed Mu'atasim Ami Nofal, 14 years old. Ahmed Muhammad Khader, 14 years old. Ahmed Musa Issa Samur, 14 years old. Ahmed Naif Khalil Al-Jab, 14 years old.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Marianne Assar.
Good afternoon, council members and Mr. County Executive. Like a lot of my colleagues, I just want to...
Mrs. Asar, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Okay, got it. Miriam Asar. I live in Cleveland. Yeah, I wanted to read off the names of the martyred babies. I'm starting off with number 296. Yaqeen Badr Eid Abu Jabal, 1 year old. Yaqut Annas Hassan Dahir, 1 year old. Yara Muhammad Faiz Al Hassani, 1 year old. Yasin Adil Musa Zanoun, 1 year old. Yazan Ahmed Ibrahim Bardawil, 1 year old. Yusuf Ahmed Jamal Musa, 1 year old. Zahir Adi Hamada Al Bakri, 1 year old. Zuhair Ramadan Mahmoud Al Dahouk, 1 year old. Abdel Nasir Ahmed Abdel Nasir Shamlakh, 2 years old. Abdel Noor Amin Marwan Abu Shaykhan, 2 years old. Abdel Rahman Abdel Nasir Daoud Al Halisi, 2 years old. Abdul Aziz Amr Abdul Aziz, 2 years old. Abdul Aziz Kamal Mansour Sob, 2 years old. Abdul Rahman Ayman Sabri Barhum, 2 years old. Abdullah Khalil Abdullah Abu Haya, 2 years old. Abdullah Noor Al-Din Shakir Abdel, 2 years old. Adam Abdul Karim Kamil Abu Rahma, 2 years old. And last but not the least, Ahmed Fauzi Al-Quvaiti, 2 years old. I hope you honor these martyrs by maybe changing your policy, Mr. O'Neill.
Claire Mancuso. Claire Mancuso.
Hello, council members. My name is Claire Mancuso. I've been a resident of Cuyahoga County the entirety of my life. Palestine is a holy land, not only to the Jewish people. There are 3 Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Why does one group get that land when it is holy to all? There is no reason to kick out the indigenous people who live there. I would also like to point out that as soon as pro-Palestinian activists started public comment, the camera was moved so that we could only see the council president. You are not only erasing the violence in Palestine, people who live across the world, you are now erasing the county members who are sitting and standing directly in front of you. And I will continue to read the names of martyrs, a extremely small fraction. Muhammad Nasser al-Sahari, 5 years old. Muhammad Ziad Muhammad al-Azib, 5 years old. Mujahid Nasser Samir Rashid, 5 years old. Musa Abdullah Musa Zorab. Now, I'm sure it's becoming annoying for you to continue to listen to these names, but I assure you that the constant drones and military machines that the Palestinian people have to constantly hear are much more annoying.
Thank you.
Lou.
Good evening, everybody. Lots of time we want prophets to tell us the futures will be good. But in reality, we always do things with afterthoughts. I understand the reason the government requires local government to have a long-term investment. Sure, that would involve with lots of financial products. Genocide is one moment we can see buildings are destroyed, lives are taken violently. Slow murder, on the other hand, sometimes can be hidden. It takes a long time. People don't even think about it. Not too long ago, I sent in documents to show you all the things should have been done, but they all became afterthoughts. For the people staying at the 2227 Payne Avenue, for example, if Israel bonds that investment is so good, how come we cannot really plan ahead of time enough and to make sure things actually happen instead of saying we do not have enough funding, we do not have resources, so the people have to stay in the shelter with construction going on. It's not bomb, yeah, but same thing. All the drilling sound, pounding sound. Why people here have to suffer even if we have good returns from Israel bonds? All of you are sitting here, unfortunately, you have to take the hit because you have not been proactive enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Warda Hamdan.
Good afternoon. My name is Warda Rosie Hamdan. I'm a Cuyahoga County resident. I'm also Palestinian. I'm also going to be reading the names of children who have been killed by the state of Israel. But before I do that, I just want to remind you all that these are actual human beings, like children whose lives have been cut short. They will never play. They will never grow up and go to college and study what they want to study. They won't kiss their mothers again. They won't kiss their siblings again. And I will also like to remind you that the way that these children have, can you guys look at me, Ms. Conwell, Ms. Turner? The way these children have been murdered is atrocious. Their heads have been blown off by these bombs. Like, we think bombs are just, they're bombs. Like, bombs have been launched and they killed people. No, like, this is atrocious. Their heads have been blown off. They have been burned alive. Their skin has melted to them. Their internal organs have been ruptured from high-pressured blasts that come off of bombs when they're launched. Buildings have collapsed on them. This is atrocious. Please listen as I say these names and internalize them, especially if you have your own children or children that you love and adore. The names I'm reading are all babies, actually, that are under 1 year old. Hassan Hamza Hassan Al-Amsi, Hind Khalid Ahmad Jahju, Huda Mustafa Abu Saif, Hur Yassin Ahmad Sheikh Al-Aid, Hur Muhammad Al-Mamluk, Hur Omar Al-Azab, Ibrahim Amar Said Al-Qara, Ismail Ahmed Ismail Farhat.
Thank you. And let me remind everyone that you would, Madam Clerk, hold one moment. Let me remind everyone that you do not direct your comments to individual council members, but directly here. Please read the name again, Madam Clerk.
Shireen Nasser.
Hi, I'm Shireen Nasser. I'm a Cuyahoga County resident and a Palestinian American. I had prepared comments, and I'm actually going to scrap them. I have read and analyzed over 600 pages of transcripts since April 23rd of public comments and what has been happening in this county council, including public records requests. As a over 15 years researcher of racism, I can tell you directly that you are being racist, that the comments being made in this room are racist. There is an incredible lack of leadership from this county to stop the racism that is happening in this room, specifically the anti-Palestinian racism. The number of public commenters standing up here saying Palestinians are enemies to Western values, are uncivilized, calling us backwards, terrorists, it's abhorrent. The vile rhetoric is racist hate speech. There's a woman back here that has said racist things to my face, taken pictures of my children without consent. In the background of this, our county executive has refused meetings with the Palestinian community while taking meetings and engaging with Israel Bonds executives, taking fully paid trips to Israel, speaking at Zionist-hosted events. The racist bias is absolutely crystal clear. When we came on April 23rd, and the next county meeting after that, and the next county meeting after that, I analyzed every single one. We regularly said we are here looking for partners for how to solve this situation, how to end a genocide, how to take care of the Palestinian community. And instead of being met with the same consideration given the Jewish Federation and Zionists in Beechwood, we were silenced, ignored, called uncivilized, given comments of 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes, and the racism continues. The racism against Palestinians is not unique. It is the same racism that permeates this country, that gets a pastor singing about racism removed.
Your time is up.
It is unacceptable.
Nicole Bourne-Crow. Nicole Bourne-Crow.
We can keep clapping for sure.
Public comment, it is your opportunity to speak.
Thank you. My name is Nicole Bourne-Crow. I'm from Jewish Voice for Peace, and I'm a Cuyahoga County resident. So, I can't get my phone to open. There we go. So for 1 year, we have been witness to unspeakable loss. During this high holiday season, now more than ever, we grieve the loss of over 40,000 Palestinian martyrs, over 2,000 Lebanese martyrs. During the days of awe, we are asked to atone for all the ways that we went astray, all the places in our lives where we didn't measure up, where we failed to do the right thing. I can think of no better time for this county council to wake up to all the ways that you are complicit with unspeakable losses, all the ways that your inaction have led to where we are today. We have a grief ritual after this council meeting today, and when I began to print the names of those killed in Gaza, it took 20 pages just to print the infants. 20 pages out of 700. Not just names. These names are a whole universe. I carry these names with me as a prayer, as a reminder to stay awake, to continue to do the work that we are all doing. However annoying this may be for you, however fruitless this may be at the end of the day, these names are a whole universe. May their memories be a blessing always. Thank you.
Abram Jacobs. Abram Jacobs, the last public speaker.
Avram Jacobs, Beechwood, Ohio. Thank you for your time. As we reflect on the one-year anniversary of the horrific terrorist attacks by Hamas on innocent Israeli civilians, it is crucial that we pause to recognize the sheer brutality of those events. Babies were targeted. They were not collateral damage. They were targets. Meanwhile, Hamas and Hezbollah uses babies as human shields. And with this in mind, I'd like to address the woman who spoke 2 weeks ago calling for Jews to go back and leave our ancestral homeland, saying repeatedly, go back, go back. I ask,
maintain order. Maintain order. At this time, we will recess. We have a motion to recess. Second.
We have
All
a,
in
do we have
favor, say aye.
a, do we have a motion?
Moved by Sweeney, seconded by Byrne. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Sheriffs, please come in and take care of the heckling, the outburst. Please maintain order, and we will return after that.
We will not rest, thy best. Thy best. We will not stop. We will not rest, thy best. Thy best. We will not stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're asking you to leave. Right now, we're asking you to leave. They're giving you a lawful order to leave. Give them an opportunity to leave.
Thank you.